Valaganesh sir, shall we start?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Uh, Now I request Dr. Godwin Barnabas to give the welcome address.
Thank you, Sarlasundar sir, for your initial speech. Now
Okay,
it's
sir.
session will be started. Good evening and greetings to all of you from Ramco Institute of Technology, Rajapalayam, Tamil Nadu, and welcome to the second day of the third three-day webinar on building smart automation design from 5th to 7th August 2020. This workshop is conducted by the Automation and Robotics Club in association with the IST Student Chapter, Institution of Engineers and Institution Innovation Council. This webinar is an interdisciplinary one. People from any stream can attend this event. No prerequisite knowledge is necessary to attend this event. It's my pleasure to welcome all the online participants, including faculty, students, research scholars, and industrial persons from various institutions, organization on behalf of the Ramco Institute of Technology Principal, Vice Principal, and the management members. It's our request to all the participants to mute your audio and video. Don't share your screen while the resource person is handling the session. Also, throw only your genuine questions in the chat box. Don't chat anything unnecessarily during the session. Don't adjust to send the feedback in between the session. Show your cooperation in this regard for the smooth conduct of the program. Feedback link will be shared at the end of the session. Participants filling the feedback link for the 3 days are the only eligible to claim the certificate. The schedule for the event is as follows. Already the day 1 has been over. Now we are on the day 2. The topic for today is automation using electro-pneumatics, electro-hydraulic system using Fluid Sim. Also, the hands-on session will be available with the aid of Fluid Sim and CodeSys software packages. I think already you enjoy the day 1. Now we are going to enjoy the day 2 with our special resource person, Vale Ganesh. Now it's time to welcome our resource person, Vale Ganesh. Vale Ganesh is a rank holder in both his UG and PG, and also he is having a rich experience in the teaching, and he is well known for establishing the laboratory, and he's established the mechatronics laboratory in the Ramco Institute of Technology, and also he has established robotics laboratory in association with the IIT Bombay Automation Robotics Club in RIT, and also he has established Yendra Lab in the Ramco Institute of Technology, and he is a resource person for various programs related to the robotics, automation, and AI over the years, and he has trained various students in the area of robotics, automation, and AI for make them to well versed and also be participated in the various competitions. And he is also the jury member for mechatronic skills and India skills competition conducted by National Skill Development Center, MHRD, Government of India. And Mr. Vale Ganesh has published various reputed journals and conference papers, and also he filed various patents and copyright works, and he had received grant for his projects from Institution of Engineers, India, AICT, and he is presently is doing the 4 consultancy projects in AI stream. Vale Ganesh sir, now you can start the session.
Okay. I think I'm audible, right?
Yes, you are clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay. 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 So, good evening to all. Thank you for the warm introduction, Godwin Barnabas. Today we are in day 2 of this workshop on building smart automation design. The topic for today is introduction to electro-pneumatic system. So my agenda is first and foremost thing is those who are missed yesterday's class and those who have little connection issues in the yesterday class. I'm going to review on yesterday's presentation within 5 minutes, and today we are focus on electrical components, that is electro-pneumatic system. So what are the components involved in this, and directly we enter into application due to some limited amount of time. I directly enter into some real-time applications, then how to build these circuits in software without coding, that is design of pneumatic circuits versus design of electro-pneumatic circuit. What are the basic difference between these two things? And finally I conclude my session with introducing a topic named as mechatronic skills. So this is entirely away from this workshop. Anyhow, you are all know about this so that you will be benefited, as well as your student community is also going to be benefited, because the participants are all from different domain and different disciplines. I think it is very good for you to know about these skills, and the same could be applied in your institution also. Okay, so I don't want to take much more amount of time on day one. So day one yesterday, Hello Sundar sir handled the session about pneumatics. Pneumatic means using a compressed air. We are going to automate a system. So compressed air is nothing but air is readily available in the atmosphere. That air could be taken from the atmosphere and compressed with the help of compressor. Then it is stored on the compressed tank, compressed storage tank. The same air could be utilized for various kind of application. One basic or very beginner level application is you all know that nowadays bus doors are automatically opened as well as automatically closed whenever stop arrives. So the basic operation of that automatic opening and closing of doors in public as well as private buses are based upon this pneumatic principle only. Another one basic example is most of you or some of you may visited dental hospital where you may experience those kind of pneumatic system. That is passing of air with that dentals. So that kind of applications are only comes under pneumatics. And on the other hand, one more huge topic is there. That topic is nothing but hydraulics. So basic industrial automation backbone is these two topics. One is pneumatics and another one is hydraulics. Pneumatics, we are going to use compressed air as a soul for the operation. In hydraulics, we are going to use liquid as a soul of the system. Instead of air, we are going to use liquid. So there are a lot of inherent advantages of hydraulics also. We can't able to compare simply pneumatic as well as hydraulics. There are a lot of parameters are also available. Based upon the parameters only, we can able to conclude which one is better. Okay. Since my topic is limited to pneumatics, I'm only focusing on pneumatics alone. Yes. To build any pneumatic circuits, these are all the 5 components for you. To build any pneumatic circuits, these are all the 5 basic components required. One is source or service element. Source is nothing but air. Air is taken from the atmosphere, and that should be compressed properly in order to build some pressure. In order to build some pressure, so in order to compress the air, we require compressor. So we can't directly send the air into our system because air is taken from the atmosphere. Sometimes it had some pollutant particle that could be removed properly. So those action could be done with the help of filter, and we are adjusting our pressure also by tuning the pressure with the help of regulator. And compressed air is sent to the system where if pressure increases, mean temperature is also indirectly increases. We don't require any hot kind of air into our system. We require only pressurized air. For that, we use lubrication for minimizing the temperature into the system. And second one is the signal element. So this is called as the signal element. Push button valve, roller lever valve. So this is setting the push button valve. Okay. And third one is the control element. This is called as direction control valve. 3x2 direction control valve, and this is called as 4x2 direction control valve, where the activation is based upon pilot. Here the activation is based upon push button. Okay. And the final control valve, that is flow control valve or quick exhaust valve, that is not indicated in this picture. And fifth one is the working element. Working element is nothing but our actuator. As far as pneumatic is concerned, the actuator may be most of the cases the actuator may be linear one. Linear means it will try to move left to right or top to bottom. Only straight action. There is no rotary motion involved in this. Okay. Here cylinder is the fixed portion, the outer rectangular geometry. Inside the cylinder, a piston will be able to reciprocate, that is from left to right and right to left, based upon the air sent into the system. Okay. So these are all the five basic components required while building any kind of automation circuits comes under pneumatic. The same could be applicable for hydraulic also. The one and only difference is there we don't require compressor. Instead of compressor, we are going to place pumping unit, pump with the motor setup, because oil is incompressible. Okay, there we are going to use fluid, liquid fluid. Oil, most of the cases we are using oil. Oil is incompressible in nature, so that we can't able to compress the oil. Instead of compressor, we are going to use pumping unit, pump with the motor. Okay, so sir discussed all those things very clearly and precisely in the last class. The only takeaway from the last class is one and only most important thing is you need to know the symbol, graphical representation of the each and every symbol. Then only you can be able to do some kind of automation. These symbols are universally accepted. That means wherever you go, you may find the same symbol. There is no change as far as symbolic representation is concerned. Okay. These are all the various components along with the symbols. And yesterday Sari clearly explained about silencer. Silencer is used to reduce the noise of the outgoing air. We took the air from the atmosphere, we utilized the air for our automation purpose, and we finally send the air to the atmosphere again. Okay, while sending the air into the atmosphere, it will have a lot of noise due to some pressure relief. So in order to minimize that amount of noise, we are going to place this component, silencer, or it is technically called as muffler. We are going to place this component in the outlet of the direction control valve such that air release could be maintained silently. Okay. So these are all the various kind of activation method. It is called as manually operated. Manually operated means human only will be able to operate this kind of valve. Okay. For example, this is a general manual. This is push button. Whenever you try to press the push button, direction of the direction control valve could be changed. And pull button, we are going to pull this valve so that the direction will be changed. And this is both push and pull type, where we can able to push the valve as well as pull the valve. And this is lever operated valve, and this is pedal operated valve. Instead of hand, we are going to change the valve with the help of our leg. This is called as pedal operated valve. Okay. So this is throttle and this is rotary valve. All those things are already explained. Anyhow, I'm going to give some overview. That's it. Okay. So this is mechanically operated. Instead of manually operated, we are having certain kind of joints and linkages. So first one is plunger, second one is spring return, third one is roller, fourth one is unidirectional or one-way trip. This is called as ideal return, roller with ideal return. And this is the most important case for you. Whenever you find this triangle towards right hand side direction, going towards right hand side direction or left hand side direction mean it is called as pilot signal. Okay, pilot signal mean air is used to change the direction of direction control valve instead of human changes. Okay, so our topic is only focusing upon this component that is called as solenoid. Whenever you find this symbol, this is called as solenoid. Okay, solenoid is an electromechanical device where input is electrical current and output is mechanical force. Whenever you pass some electrical current into the system, the output will be some kind of mechanical force. With the help of that force, we are going to change the direction of direction control valve. That's it. Okay. With the help of those force, we are going to change the direction of direction control valve with the help of this electrically operated solenoid control valve. This is solenoid direct and this is called a solenoid pilot. Whenever you see that infilled triangle, that refers to pilot. Pilot is this combined pilot as well as solenoid. Whenever you try to pass the air into the system, it will automatically change the direction. Or whenever you apply some current into the system, then the valve direction also changes. The primary purpose of those terminologies are used to change the direction of the direction control valve. Yes. So direction control valve are normally designated by this parameters. It look like a fraction. It look like a fraction like this. Numerator having one value and denominator having one value. Normally denominator represents number of square boxes. So if it is 2 square boxes, mean it contains 2 positions. That is indicated at the denominator. Okay. Numerator having number of ports. Okay. Suppose if you are having 3 square brackets in your direction control valve, mean it contains 3 positions. One is for left side activation and another one is for right side activation and the central one is for neutral position. Okay, this is for left side activation, this is for right side activation, whatever may be. Okay, so inside the square boxes you may have some ports, that is 1 to 2. This is the opening passage. So 1 to 2. So it is said to be 2 by 1 direction control valve. Why it is called 2 by 1 direction control valve? It contains 2 ports. The ports are normally designated at the numerator of the valve, and the number of square brackets are described as denominator of the designated denominator of the valve. Okay, this is 2 by 1 direction control valve. It contains 2 ports and only one direction. Okay, so this is called as 3 by 1. This is called as 4 by 1. And this is called as 5 by 1. Whenever you find the symbol T, T stands for terminal, temporarily locked. We can't able to send the air further above this position. Okay. Yes. So with the help of this, we can able to designate this valve. This is called as 5x2 direction control valve. Why it is called as 5x2 direction control valve? So it contains two square brackets. So the two could be automatically designated at the denominator. Numerator, it contains 5 ports. This is port number 1, this is port number 2, this is port number 3, this is port number 4, and this is port number 5. One square having 5 ports means similarly you can get the same 5 ports on the another square bracket, but their position could be changed. Okay, in order to have different kind of activation, the positions are changed. Okay. So this is 2x2 direction control valve. This is called a shuttle valve. Normally, it is called as a shut-off valve. This is called a shut-off valve, where you can normally employ this kind of valves in your home alone, where taking liquid from the bottom, and you are going to take the liquid from the bottom position to the top position. Mean you are normally used this kind of valve. Okay. Okay. So these are all the things which already discussed on the last class. My intention is to explain those things only. Now I move on to today's presentation. Yesterday's presentation is only focusing upon pneumatic system and their components and ISO symbols. Similarly, I already posted yesterday night on quiz. Totally around 134 persons are responded those quizzes. Around 3 to 4 members scoring full marks. That is 20 out of 20. There are totally 20 questions are involved in that. Out of 20 questions, a couple of members, I think 3 or 4 members scoring 20 out of 20. And a lot of people are scoring around 19, 18, like that. I will reveal all those things at the end of this lecture, okay? Because it will take some amount of time for me. So electro-pneumatics, in the sense, we are, in order to make the automation more precise as well as easily, we are going to integrate certain electrical components into the existing pneumatic system, okay? In order to make the automation more easier, okay? Electro-pneumatics is now commonly used in many areas of industrial low-cost automation. They are also used extensively in production, assembly, paramedical, chemical, and packaging systems. So wherever you see these kind of process automation, normally electro-pneumatics only involved. Most of the production cases, most of the assembly cases, most of the paramedical applications, most of the chemical processing applications, most of the packaging applications, you may see these kind of systems only. Here we are going to use relays. Okay, I will give you some detailed description about relays. Relays have been increasingly replaced by programmable logic controllers in order to meet the growing demand for more flexible automation. Electro-pneumatic control consists of electrical control system operating pneumatic power systems. In this, solenoid valves are used as the interface between electrical and pneumatic system. Devices like limit switches and proximity sensor are also used as a feedback element. Here we are going to use limit switches in order to limiting the position of the piston, and we are using proximity sensors also. Okay. So the major component, first one is input device. Input device may be a switch or contactor or various types of contact and proximity sensor. Second one is signal processing. Signal processing we are going to deploy either in relay or using PLC. PLC means programmable logic controllers. I will detailedly describe those PLC in the next session. Okay. And the third one is signal output. Output device may be solenoid, or it may be an indicator, or it may be a buzzer or alarm. So these are the three main components of electro-pneumatic. One is input element, second one is processing element, and output element. Okay. So in most of the cases, we are using these kind of components in our system. First one is manually activated push button switches. Manually activated push button switches, as the name suggests, this switch will be able to work only with the help of human input. Okay, if the switch is in open, whenever you try to press the switch, it will be able to close as you turn on or turn off the switch in your home application. Okay, and second one is called as limit switch. As the name suggests, this limit switch is used to limit the displacement of the actuator. This limit switch is used to adjust the displacement of the actuator. Actuator is nothing but, it may be a single acting cylinder or it may be a double acting cylinder. For example, double acting cylinder has a stroke length of 200 millimeter. 200 millimeter in the sense, whenever you supply air into the actuator, it tries to move 200 mm from its position. Okay, in order to limit its position, for example, I require only 100 millimeter displacement. Mean at that case, I'm going to place a limit switch at from the actuator, that is the distance between the limit switch and the actuator is 100 mm, so that whenever my piston reaches 100 millimeter, this switch is able to give the alarm, or this switch is able to give the signal to proceed further operation. Okay, so this is called as limit switch. Okay, and third one, pressure switch. Whenever it obtain some kind of pressure into the system, or pressure is met, means this switch is able to turn on to remove certain kind of pressures. Okay, solenoids, as I already told, this is used to change the direction of direction control valve. Here the input is current and output is mechanical force. With the help of those mechanical force, we are going to change the direction of direction control valve. And the next one is timers. Timers, we are going to use some for certain kind of delay applications. Whenever I try to turn on my switch, sometime you may experience that light will be able to glowing after a few seconds of time. That is called as on delay timer. Suppose off operation having some sort of delay, mean that is said to be off delay timer. Next one is temperature switches. As the name suggests, it is used to measure the temperature. Okay, after particular temperature met, means then this switch will be able to turn off automatically. And proximity sensors, these sensors are placed in order to detect the actuator position. Okay, and the electrical counters are normally used to count the number of application, or number of cycle, or number of operations. For example, we are going to adopt our electro-pneumatic components for packaging of applications, packaging of components. So at that case, for each and every batches of packaging application, totally 550 components are placed. So these 50 components could be packed, means then the counter will be able to set as 0. Components are come one by one, and our application starts counting. Our counter start counting. Whenever 50 is over, then the entire operation, that the first cycle could be completed. After a small ideal time, again it reset to 0 and it starts counting again and again. Okay, so this is electrical counters case. So this is the symbolic representation of manually activated push button. Whenever you see this kind of symbol, it is said to be the manually operated push button switch. Here you are having 4 type of contact, that is 13, 14, 23, 24, 31, 32, 41, 42. Here it is having 2 different categories. 2 different categories means first 2 are called as open switch, and second 2 are called as closed switch. So what is the meaning of open switch and closed switch? So as you can see, 13 and 14 are not connected, so it is called as open switch. That means whenever you give supply via 13, 14 won't get any supply due to some opening gap. Okay, similarly 23 and 24 called as open switch. As you can see, some controversial things are there. 31 and 32, it is closed. Okay, so whenever you supply some current via 31, means automatically 32 contact also receive the current due to its compatibility. It is in closed in nature. 31 and 32 are closed, 41 and 42 are also closed. Okay, so whenever I try to press the push button, this is manually operated. I am going to press this. Whenever I try to press this push button, mean what will happen? 13 and 14 are get closed. 23 and 24 are normally get closed. At the same time, 31 and 32 are get opened. 41 and 42 are get opened. Okay, whenever you try to press the button, mean open contact are normally try to close. Closed contact are normally try to open. Okay, that is reverse will be happen. Okay, suppose I am going to remove my hand, means remove this button, means then it will try to come back to its original position. As you can see in this picture, 13 and 14 are open, 23 and 24 are open, 31 and 32 are closed, 41 and 42 are closed. Okay, so this is manually operated push button with the spring return. Spring return in the sense button is having some spring. Okay, it is look like a calling bell switch. Calling bell switch in the sense whenever you try to press the button, and whenever you release the button, it will come back to its original position. And this is called as return switch. Okay, so this is called as return switch. Return switch is look like our normal switch what we have in our fan and the light operations. Okay, this is permanently placed. Okay, whenever you try to press the switch, then 13 and 14 are closed, 23 and 24 are closed, 31 and 32 are open, 41 and 42 are opened. Okay, whenever you press the switch for the second time only, it will able to come back to its original position. It will look like your normal home applications, like normal fan switches or light switches. So this is called as return switch. How you differentiate these two switches? One and only thing is you may found one V0 is there. Whenever you find this V0, this is said to be return switch. And whenever there is no V0 is found, this is called as spring return switch. Spring return switch means it is automatically returned to its original position whenever you remove the finger from the switch. Okay. Yeah, this is the detailed description. I don't want to take much amount of time. So here the switch is in open. Here you may see some certain kind of clearance gap is there. Whenever you try to apply some force in this direction, I'm going to press in this direction means what will happen? This plunger will move towards downside direction such that you can see this will happen. This will happen means that is from contact number 1 to contact number 3 to contact number 4 will emerge. Whenever I try to press the switch, this switch is normally closed. As you can see, this is the activated position. Activated position is nothing but after giving input, what will be the my output. So this is before giving the input. It is called as normal position. Okay. Yeah, this is called as changeover switch. As you can see, current is flowing from 1 to 2. In suppose we wish to give current to fourth channel, mean you are going to press the switch such that contact between 1 to 2 will break, and at the same time contact between 1 and 4 will make. Okay, here is a symbolic representation. I'm going to use some pointer applications also. Okay, so this is called as 1, and this is called as 2, and this is called as 4. Okay, so this is the symbolic representation. If you look deeply, means this is the normal position of the switch. Okay, here you can see current is flowing from 1 to 2 in this manner normally, and current between 1 to 4 is not possible because some minor gap is there. Okay, suppose I am going to apply some force in this direction. What will happen? This plunger will move towards downstream direction or downside direction. Then what will happen? This spring will compress it. At the same time, this contact will break and this contact will make. This contact in the sense it will try to move towards downside direction such that this gap could be filled. So it may look like this. This is 1, this is 2, and this is 4. That is current. Now current will flow from 1 to 4 instead of 1 to 2 whenever I press the switch. Okay. After pressing this switch, the switch may be activated, maybe like this. Okay. So if you have any doubt, again, participant, please type in the chat box. Our student representative is also there. Our faculty members are also there. You may get the solution instantly. Yeah. So this is called as limit switch. As I already told you earlier, this is used to limit the displacement of the activator position. Okay. So it is also similar to the push button switch. The application for limit switch is used to limit the displacement of the actuator. Okay, here the symbol is a little bit difficult, a little bit different, where you can see some circular portion instead of a partial rectangular portion. Here you can see some partial rectangular portion. Here you can see some circular portion instead of partial rectangular portion. Whenever you see this kind of circular portion, it is called as limit switches. Okay. Normally 1 to 2 are normally closed contact, and 1 to 4 is open contact. Whenever limit switch is activated, means 1 to 4 contact emerges and 1 to 2 contact breaks. So this is called as pressure switch. Whenever a suitable pressure is built inside the system, this switch will be able to release the existing pressure, or it is used to intend to perform some kind of application. So this is called as diaphragm. It will look like a rubber band. Whenever you try to apply some force, you try to flexible in its position. Okay, number 14 is the incoming air. Okay, with this number 14, we are going to supply some kind of air such that the stem will move upward direction, where contact between 2 to 4 will make. Okay, contact between 2 to 4 will make. Yeah, this is called as relay switches. So relays are switches that are open and closed circuits electromechanically or electronically. Relays control one electrical circuit by opening and closing contact into the another circuit. Relays are relays are called as electrical switches, where we can't be able to adjust with the help of human things. As you can see in the manually operated push button switches, these are electrical switches. Normally we deploy relay for act as an intermediator, or is used to connect two different operating voltages. Means at that time we may deploy relays. One basic example of relay is wherever you find stabilizer in your home applications, it may be integrated with your television or with your refrigerator or air conditioner, whatever may be, where you may find lot of relays are available inside the stabilizers. Okay, it is used to connect or it is act as a bridge, or it is used to connect two different operating voltages. Okay, whenever current whenever you supply some current into the system, mean some contact will make and some contact will break automatically. So relays symbolic representation is, it's look like a square box. A1 and A2 are the two terminals. Inside the relay, here there are some minor contact out there, that is 11, 12, 11, 14, 21, 22, 21, 24. As you can see, 11, 12 are open closed contact, and 11, 14 are open contact. 21, 22 are closed contact, 21, 24 are open contact. Whenever we supply some current into the system, mean 11 and 14 will close, and 21 and 22 will become, 21 and 24 will become closed contact. Okay. So in this, the typical diagram for you, here the current is flowing here. Here the channel number 2. Whenever you are energizing this contact, means it will try to make current. It will try to make contact from 1 to 4 instead of 1 to 2. Okay. So whenever you try to give some current inside this 4, means what will happen? So it will generate some magnetic field. This magnetic field will be able to attract this armature towards left side direction. Whenever this armature towards moving left side direction, means contact is made between 1 to 4 instead of 1 to 2. Contact is made between 1 to 4 instead of 1 to 2. Okay. Suppose if I wish to remove the current supply, means what will happen? There is no magnetic field, such that 1 to 2 will automatically perform. 1 to 4 is 1 to 4 is breaking, and 1 to 2 is normally happening. Okay. So these are all the various common types of relays. That is single pole, single throw, normally open in the sense it is normally in open position. It is in closed position. NC means normally closed. NO means normally open. This is double pole single throw switch, and this is single pole double throw switch, and this is double pole double throw switch. Okay. Yeah, this is the solenoid. The symbolic representation of solenoid is wherever you find one rectangular, inside the rectangular you may find one slanted line. So this is called as solenoid. Solenoid is nothing but it's an electromechanical device. Wherever whenever you supply some current into the system, it tries to produce some mechanical force as the output. With the help of mechanical force, we are going to change the direction of direction control valve. Okay. So this is called as 3/2 direction control valve. So here it contains two different directions. So this is direction number 1, and this is direction number 2. Okay. At any moment, the air will pass from any one of the direction. For example, air is flowing from the second direction. Suppose I wish to change the direction, that is, I'm going to change the direction, that is from direction number 2 to direction number 1. What I'm going to do means I'm going to simply apply some current into the solenoid, such that one mechanical force is developed. Now the air will flow from the first direction instead of second direction. Okay. Whenever you release the current or whenever you remove the current, then due to spring actuation, direction 2 is normally changed instead of direction 1. Okay. So this is again 3/2 direction control valve with the pilot operation. This is 5/2 direction control valve. How it is designated? This is first port. This is second port. This is third port. This is fourth port, and this is fifth port. So totally 5 ports are available, and here also 5. Totally 2 square brackets are there. So it is called as 5/2 direction control valve. Whenever you find this symbol, it is called as electromechanical device or solenoid actuated direction control valve. Okay. So this is double solenoid actuated. You may see left side actuation also solenoid, right side actuation also solenoid. So it is called as double solenoid valve. Yes. Applications. Next we move on to the applications. So far what we discussed means what is mean by electro-pneumatic system, what are all the basic components involved in the electro-pneumatic systems, that is switches, relays, solenoids only we discussed so far. So basic application is bus opening and closing, that is automatic door opening and closing of doors is in buses while stopping. And next one is sequencing application. Sequence means order. On ordered applications, we may deploy this electro-pneumatic system. For example, as in the case of drilling operation or in the case of stamping operation, first and foremost, the thing is we need to pick the incoming material, or we need to hold the incoming material. That is the first operation. And second one is movement of the drill bit. And the third operation is placing the drill bit into our product. And fourth one is removing the drill bit or return the drill bit to its original position. Fifth one is unclamping our work pieces. So these are all the sequence of operation in drilling process. For this sequence of operation, we may deploy this electro-pneumatics. Okay. And next one is timing and counting operation. As I already told earlier, while in packaging for a set or for a batch of packaging applications, we may set timing as 5 minutes to complete 50 item packages. Now 50 is met and 5 minutes time also met, then one set of batches, one set of items could be packaged successfully. Okay. Yeah. So this is the basic pneumatic circuit, and the circuit is titled as activation of single acting cylinder. So for beginner, for any kind of people or any kind of background, this is the first and foremost circuit. It look like knowing an alphabet name as A in pneumatics. Okay. Suppose if you are beginner to English language, means first and foremost the thing is you need to study about alphabets. What are the various letters are available in the English language. Similarly, here it is the first and foremost circuit, beginner level, entry level circuit, or it is called as entry level circuit. Okay. So this is the normal position of the pneumatic circuit. This is the activated portion of the pneumatic circuit. First and foremost thing, with the help of this symbol, we need to know what is mean by all the components. Yes. You need to know the name of the component. Okay. Whenever you find a triangle like this, it is called as compressor. Infilled triangle, compressor. Filled triangle, it is called as motor. Okay. Suppose a triangle is look like this, that is invert the triangle of the above picture, it is called as vent. It is called as vent. Okay. Vent means exit. Okay. This is called as compressor. Okay. So whenever a triangle look like this is called as compressor, this is called as vent. And again, the triangle is look like this, means this is called as pilot. Pilot means with the help of air or with the help of incoming medium, we are going to change the direction control valve. Okay. So each and every symbol have their unique meaning. So this is called as filter. This is called as filter. This is called as regulator. Filter with the lubricator is also available, and this is called as pressure gauge. With the help of this pressure gauge, we came to know how much amount of pressure is involved in this system. As look like an indicator, it will look like an indicator. Okay. This is called as air service unit. The entire portion, the second portion is called as air service unit, where you can find FRL. FRL means filter, F stands for filter, R stands for regulator, and L stands for lubricator. Okay. And come back to the portion, this is called as direction control valve. It is designated by 3/2. Why it is 3/2 mean? Totally there are 3 ports are available and 2 positions are available. 2 position in the sense 2 square brackets are available. Here also 3, here also 3. Okay. This 3/2 valve, we can change the direction with the help of the push button on the one end, and another end is spring return. Okay. And this is called as the actuator, or your final thing, working element. This is called a single acting cylinder. Single acting cylinder means inlet and exhaust are happen in only one direction. That is, extension and retraction could be happened with the help of a single point of contact. Means this is called a single acting cylinder. Whenever you try to pass air into the system, air will automatically accommodate in this small minor gap. Suppose more amount of air is moving, air is flowing into this system, means the air will be able to push the piston towards right side direction. This is the actuated position. Initially the piston is in this area. Whenever you try to pass more amount of air into the system, what will happen? Your piston starts moving. With the help of this motion, we can able to do lot of applications. We can able to do lot of applications with the help of these things. Okay, actually your bus door opening happen only with these kind of things. Okay, so see this 3x2 having two different direction. This is called as the second direction. This is called as first direction. As you can see, air is flowing directly into this port. Okay, into this port. T stands for terminal. This is temporary lock. Air can't able to move further upwards. Okay, suppose I wish to give air into the system. In what I can do means I am simply press this button. Mean what will happen? Direction 1 will move towards right hand side, and direction 2 get moving away from the right hand side. So this is the thing whenever I try to press the button. Okay, so whenever I try to press the button, this direction will enable and this direction will be disabled by just moving towards right side direction. Okay, what will happen now? The air will move directly into the system. Air will move directly into the system. My piston got extended. Okay, suppose I'm going to remove the input from the button. What will happen? Due to the spring activation, this valve will come back to its original position. Means direction 2 is automatically enabled, as you can see in the first picture. Direction 2 is enabled. Direction 2 is whenever you supply air into the system, there is no output from the direction control valve since it is locked in this position. Okay, what will happen? The air which is already filled in this position will automatically flow into the direction into like this. It will exhaust like this. So this is the symbol for silencer that I can already explain. Okay. Okay. So the same could be explained with the help of electro-pneumatics also. So electro-pneumatics, the components are simple. This is called as a single acting cylinder. This is called as 3x2 direction control valve. Instead of manual operation like push button, I am going to place a solenoid coil. Okay, if it is on the one side of actuation, means this is called a single solenoid valve. Suppose solenoid is present on the both side of the direction control valve, mean it is called as double solenoid actuated valve. Okay, the equivalent electrical circuit I need to draw separately. Whenever I try to give some input in this direction, mean I will able to get the output. Okay, I will draw the same in software name as FluidSync. I will draw the same circuit in the software name as FluidSync, where this is licensed version and we can't able to give this software to all. Okay, so this is whenever you try to open the FluidSync, this is the home page for you. Suppose you wish to create some new circuit, mean what you are going to do means simply press new, where you can see a white color screen. Inside the white color screen, you are having one boundary which is filled with black color. Okay, this means this is the end limit of the circuit. Whenever you draw beyond this limit, mean those parts are not taken for the simulation. Okay, your boundary limit is starting from this area to this black line only. Okay, inside this boundary only you are going to draw the elements, and simulation could be only happen inside the boundary. So I am going to minimize. I am going to set the boundary level. Now I am going to place. In library you may found a lot of components. Okay, so here it is a pneumatic component. Inside the pneumatic, if you expand the pneumatic, you may see supply elements, actuators, valve group, measuring instruments or sensor. First and foremost thing, to create any kind of pneumatic circuit, you require a supply element. Supply element is called as compressor. Okay, and next one is I am going to place a air service unit. Air service unit means it consists of filter, regulator, and lubricator. And I'm going to take a valve. So valve could be taken. After expanding this, we may find configurable direction control valve. We need to configure it, and some standard predefined model also available. That is mechanical actuation, pneumatic actuation, solenoid actuation are also available. For the most of the cases, I'm going to define what kind of configuration it is. So I'm going to place a simple 3x2 direction control valve. I'm going to take only the simple direction 3x2 direction control valve. Now I'm going to place the actuator. So how to place the actuator? I'm going to find it. Yes, actuator is here. Inside the actuator, you may find a single acting cylinder is here. Just pick and place. No need to draw anything. Just all the standard components are represented in the form of its diagram or its symbol. You need to find those symbols in the respective names and just pick and place. That is enough for you. Okay. So I'm going to give the connection. Whenever you place the cursor in front of each and every component, you may find some target symbol. So this is normally the connection what we have to give. Okay, I'm going to press in this area and leave my mouse left button in this direction. Okay, I'm going to press again. I'm going to release my mouse button on the next two position. Okay, similarly I'm going to connect this to this. And number 3, normally number 3 is number 3 and number 5 meant for silencer. I'm going to double tap at number 3 and I'm going to open a silencer. So this is simple 3x2 direction control valve. Here I need to define the activation, what kind of activation it is. Okay, in order to change the direction, now the direction 2 is connected. I wish to change the direction, that is 2 to 1 mean how to change its direction. I'm going to define it. I'm going to double tap this. In the left side portion, you may find manually. Here I'm going to use manual operation. This is called as push button. There are a lot of other manual operations are also available. Okay, this is manually, and right hand side you may found spring written. Okay, so this is the first and foremost circuit for you. So I'm going to now press play button. So air flow is indicated by the dark blue color, or it may look like violet color for you. So the normal line is indicated by the sky blue color. Okay, so that means air is not flowing in this portion. So air is flow from compressor to FRL via this direction. Okay, so this is the locked position. So air is not able to move further above this valve. In order to supply air into the actuator, what I am going to do means I am going to simply press this button. Whenever I try to press the button, first square bracket engages. First square bracket is allowing air from towards bottom to top, such that my piston will be able to extend. With the help of this extension, we can do a lot of operations. You can connect this piston to your bus door, and your door will open automatically. Okay, door open and closing normally having control of driver alone. Okay, whenever driver press the button, mean door will automatically open. Whenever the driver press the button again while he accelerate, mean door will close automatically. Okay, so this is called as extension and activation. Okay, so whenever I try to remove the button, mean it will come back to its original position. Due to this spring activation, automatically this portion will enable. Okay, so this is called as activation of single acting cylinder using 3x2 direction control valve. Suppose I am going to build some electrical component, mean the one and only thing is I am going to replace. I'm going to double tap this. I'm going to, instead of manual operation, I'm going to do electrical operation. Okay, this is called a solenoid. Okay, whenever you try to produce, whenever you try to give some current, mean that this direction will automatically change instead of mechanical activation or manual activation. Okay, for this I need to draw some electrical circuits. Those circuits are very much easier for you. For that, as far as this software or this case is concerned, it is operating on 24 and 0 voltage only. In between, positive supply is 24 and the ground connection is 0 voltage. So in between this, we are going to draw some electrical operation. Okay, so where you can instead in the switches menu, where you can find manual operator and general switches. General switches are called as relay switches, and manual operated switches, there are a lot of varieties are available. Okay, I'm going to place the first switch. This is called as open switch. As you can see in this diagram, 3 and 4 are open. Whenever I try to press this button, 3 and 4 are normally get closed. Okay, now I am going to connect this solenoid directly. So I'm going to give some connection 24 voltage to third contact, fourth contact to solenoid portion. On the other end of solenoid, I'm going to connect it to 0 voltage. Now I'm going to name the switch. So I'm going to double tap this. This is called a start switch. This is called a start switch. I'm going to double tap this. This is called a solenoid 1. In most of the German people's solenoids are represented by Y. If you're having multiple solenoids, means they normally designate that as Y12 up to YN. Okay. And similarly, I'm going to pair this. Pair this. How to pair this? I'm going to double tap simply this and name the same indication whatever you named in this area. Okay. So what will happen now? I'm going to play the button. So air is again flowing to the second direction of this direction control valve. There is no outcome of the air since the valve is closed in the second direction. Suppose I wish to give air in this direction, mean the piston will extend. In order to change the direction from the second position to first position, here solenoid is deployed. Last case, push button is employed so that if you are pressing the push button, it automatically changes. Now I am going to activate the solenoid. Solenoid means input is electrical current, output is mechanical force. With the help of force, the direction is automatically changed. Now I am going to press the button here. Okay. What will happen if I press the button? This contact is automatically closed. This contact closed means 24 voltage current is directly sent to the solenoid. Okay. 24 voltage current is directly sent to the solenoid. What will happen? Now this get energized and your air will flow towards in the right side direction. Okay. So this is the same thing. Earlier case I explained only with the pneumatic component. Now I'm going to integrate an electrical component instead of pneumatic thing. Okay. So whenever I press the switch, it will extend. Suppose I wish to remove the switch, mean it will come back to its original direction automatically. Okay. Whenever I release the button, mean current won't flow into the solenoid. Current won't flow into the solenoid, mean you won't give some forces, so that with the help of spring activation, number 2 position is automatically enabled. Okay. So this is the exact circuit of bus door opening, closing, wherever you find in the application, wherever you see in the public or private buses. Okay, driver having some control below their steering, where they are having button. Whenever you try to press the button, mean door will automatically open as the stop arrives. Okay, after passengers are exited and some passengers are entered, means then if driver wish to accelerate means wish to start from the stopping, means what he or she can do, means he simply press the button again. Okay, so this is spring actuated button, and one more button is also available. This is return switch. Return switch is similar to spring actuated switch. Here it is permanently disabled switch. This switches look like your home fan switches or light switches. I'm going to name it as again start switch. This is permanent switch, I think. Okay. So I press the button, mean it is in closed condition. Even though I release the mouse, I release the input from my mouse. Okay. Whenever I try to press the button for the second time, it will open. Okay. So this is the difference between push button switch and return switch. Return switch is permanently stay its position, and the spring return switch mean whenever you give the input, it will elongate. Whenever you remove the input, mean it will come back to its original position. As you can see in the calling bell switches, most of the home are employed with the calling bells. Calling bell switches are spring return switches. So that is the first case. This is called the second case, return switch. This is typically used in many home actuations, like turn on the light, turn on the fan, like that. Okay, whenever you try to press the button, your light will glow instantly, your fan will rotate instantly for a period of time. Suppose I wish to off the light, off the fan, mean what I will do, I press the switch again, so that it will come back to its original position. So this is the beginner level circuit for you, or basic level or entry level circuit. We can do lot of logical operations one by one. That is, we can deploy AND operation, OR operation, NOT operation. We studied about only logical elements. There are a lot of inherent portions are also there. Okay, so this is the first and primary thing I wish to teach for. The same thing, this is AND gate. With the help of AND gate, we are going to perform some operation in pneumatic as well as electro-pneumatic also. This is the OR gate application. Okay, based upon the logic truth table, we may able to do the same operation. This portion, don't worry about it. This portion I will clearly explained on tomorrow's class, because since the time is limited, almost 5 minutes remaining, so I need to move on another topic. So some case studies are also available. Here you can able to do some electrical circuit. Here is the mechanical portion. The equivalent pneumatics electrical circuit you need to build. Okay. So here two portion single cylinder valve is used to operate a double acting cylinder. So double acting cylinder, how it is named as double acting cylinder means here you are having two input instead of single input. Instead of, if it is single input mean it is called a single acting cylinder. If there are two input are available in the cylinder mean it is called as double acting cylinder. Okay. The cylinder moves in the forward direction when the push button is pressed. Whenever I press the push button mean cylinder will move forward. Forward mean towards right side direction. The cylinder retract when the push button is released. Whenever suppose I remove the push button mean whenever I try to remove the push button mean it will able to come back to its original position. How to draw this? Instead of single acting cylinder, I am going to place a double acting cylinder. Where I can found means in actuators menu. So this is a double acting cylinder. It contains two input, but this direction controller contains only one output, that is 3x2 direction controller. So we can't proceed with 3x2 control valve. I am going to use 4x2 or 5x2 depending upon my application. So I'm going to give number one is always for each and every number have its own designation. Number one is for input, number three is for output or silencer. Number 2 and number 4 is called as working element, where you can connect it directly to the actuator. Okay, I'm going to double tap this and give the connection to silencer. Only one solenoid is employed here. Another end is link written. Okay, I'm going to name it as Y1. I'm going to simply play this operation. What will happen? Air is flow into the second portion. Second portion is look like a crossed manner instead of straight manner, crossed manner. So air is flow into this portion so that your piston is on left side direction. Okay. What will happen if I send air towards straight direction? Mean my piston will start move in the right side direction. Okay. So that could be done with the help of this. Okay. Whenever I release the push button, it will come back to its original position. So this is the equivalent circuit for this case study number 1. Okay, bus door opening closing I already shown. Similarly, here instead of single solenoid coil, you are having double solenoid. Okay, we will try this whenever time permits. So I will conclude my presentation or conclude today's session with this slide. Or probably I will explain the mechatronic skill concept on the next session. Okay, so this is a drilling operation application. Okay, drilling operation application where you are going to move the drill bit towards downside direction. Drill bit in the downside direction. What happens? Drill bit, I'm going to move the drill bit towards downside direction with the help of two push button. Okay, so this is the case study for me. A simple drilling operation requires the drill press to turn on only if there is a material loaded in the vise. The operator has one hand on each of the start switches. In drilling operation or stamping operation, we employ this concept called as AND gate. AND gate means if both the input are true, then only you will get the output. Okay. Similarly, in drilling operation, suppose the operator using a single button for actuation means sometimes he forgot to hold the other hand safely. Okay, sometimes he may place another hand on the drill bit and one hand on the push button. Whenever he press the whenever he press the push button, means the drill bit starts rotating. Probably his hand will able to damage. Instead of avoiding those kind of damages, normally for operating this kind of danger situations, human is employed with both hands. Both hands could be employed for that purpose. They are using two push buttons instead of single push button. The equivalent circuit for this case is a minor modification only. I'm going to add one more push button. So this is also a push button. So I'm going to place a solenoid at the output of the push button. So this is Y1. This is PV1, what they mentioned in the slide. This is PV2. Okay. So suppose operator uses only one hand, means there is no extension of drill bit. Extension of drill bit is normally deployed in this rod end of the portion. Okay, let us assume like that. Okay, suppose operator press the another switch, means the drill bit won't move. How the drill bit will move? Operator press the button, two buttons simultaneously. That means, so whenever he uses both hands on the both switches, mean then only the drill bit will be able to move, such that his hand injury may be avoided. Okay, so this is technically called as AND operation or AND logic operation. Similarly, each and every logical gates like OR, NOT, XOR, XNOR, NAND, NOR having their inherent applications in various domains which we can't able to directly move. Okay, so this is a drill bit case for you. Okay, so time is almost to 7. So I left only one topic, that is called as mechatronic skills, about the awareness about mechatronic skills competition. So that will be discussed on the next class. So if you have any doubt right now about these topics, you may ask. So this is for tomorrow's agenda. Tomorrow's schedule also, programmable logic controllers. We need to learn one software name as Codesys, that is openware or freeware software, where I will share the link. If possible, you can download it from your own location and install it in your laptop or desktop. So Codesys is freeware, but FluidSim is licensed version, which I can't able to share. Okay. So this is ladder diagram. With the help of Codesys software, we may do lot of programming option. And one programming option is ladder programming, which we will do on the next class. So, and we are doing some real-time applications also. Okay. So this is our automation robotics club pages. You may get instant updates from these pages from Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, as well as YouTube. Okay. If you have any doubt, please unmute yourself and raise question, or post the question in the chat box. So this is the topper for yesterday's quiz. I am also planning to do the same quiz in tonight also. Please try to respond. So Mr. Varsha Gaikwad from Pavara Rural Engineering College, she is scoring for 20 out of 20. Maisha Dinesh Balshraf also scoring 20 out of 20. And Srishat Vikas Datri also scoring 20 out of 20. Mr. Saurabh Balshev Vihale scored 19, and Gogul Prasad scores 19. Harshavardhan from BS Abdur Rahman Crescent University is scoring 19, and Mrs. Prabit Kaur Bhatia scores around 18. I'm still wondering that these people are from ECE and instrumentation. They score full amount of marks. That shows their involvement. I am heartily congratulate those people. Those people's names will be displayed at the end of the session or end of this workshop. We will post their names in our social media pages like Facebook as well as Instagram. Okay. One industrial person are also scoring good mark, 18 mark. That is Harish Kumar. Okay. So this is the scorecard for you. Similarly, I will plan for some quizzes, some micro quiz for today's session also. If possible, you may able to respond. Okay. Probably a confidence level, I think if you follow my steps, mean it will able to increases. Your confidence level should be increasing. And one more important thing is, don't ask the feedback link privately. We won't share it privately for you. If you are having any issues in the connections, we can't able to do anything for you. Okay.
Participants, if you have any doubt, kindly ask to the resource person.
Yeah. Will you have any session on hydraulic circuit? Sir, Sangram Bhavan, sir, the circuits are all same, sir. I will, possible, I will show the circuit on tomorrow session, sir. The one and only thing is the components are all same. The one and only thing is we need to change the supply elements. Supply element, instead of placing a compressor, we are going to place a pump with the motor unit, sir. That is the only one difference between pneumatic and hydraulic circuit building development, sir. If possible, I will show it on tomorrow, sir. All other concepts are all same. That is direction control all same, actuators are all same. One and only thing is supply elements could be varied.
Okay, now I request. Okay, now I request Mr. Vigneswaran kindly give the vote of thanks.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
So it is my privilege to have been asked to propose this.
Your voice is very low, I think, Vigneswaran.
Okay, sir. Is it audible now?
Yes, you are audible now.
Okay, sir. So it's my privilege to have been asked to propose the vote of thanks on this webinar. So on behalf of Ramco Institute of Technology and the Department of Mechanical Engineering, a very big thanks to Mr. Valaganesh sir for his sharing his knowledge on electro-pneumatics and hydraulic circuits. The session was very wonderful. Yeah, sir, thank you for giving the session. Very nice. So, and I it's my so for providing encouragement for all the faculty members in this COVID pandemic and period. So, and also thank the coordinators for this program and 3 days program webinar on this program. So I also thank the participants for their patience listen. Thank you, sir. Thank you, and all present. The participants kindly fill the feedback form. So it will be active for another 15 minutes. So, and after that you can leave the meeting. So participants are requested to attend the 3rd day webinar also on tomorrow evening. So it will start by 6 p.m. So participants are requested to join the session there as soon as possible at around 3, so that we can end the session and start the session. And
One participant is asking for, is this useful for ECE students? Yes, definitely, because yesterday's session is only focusing on mechanical thing, today electrical thing, and tomorrow electronics thing. Now the existing system is involved with electronic components like sensors and controllers. So this is definitely a big impact for ECE peoples. So here there is no public domains like ECE, CSE. So normally automation means normally it is an interdisciplinary one where you may find the mechanical, electrical, electronics, instrumentation, and the control system people and computer science people are also involved for various kind of activations. There is no separate portions. Combined work. This is.
one more question from the participant. Possible to speak with the MATLAB?
MATLAB, the portion is entirely different, sir. We can't directly simulate fluid sim. This is fluid power circuits. Fluid power circuits we can't able to do directly MATLAB in MATLAB, sir. Most of the companies have their own packages. That is, we are using Gusto softwares. So the software name is fluids in pneumatics and fluids in hydraulics. Some other suppliers are also available. For example, if you wish to go for Siemens, means there Siemens India means you may have NemoSim, HydroSim like that. For pneumatic circuit, they are using NemoSim. For hydraulic circuit, they are using HydroSim. Similarly, other suppliers are also available. Genetics is available. Genetics people, what they are having means Automation Studio. They are having their own software for fluid power operation. This is called as fluid power industrial automation circuits. Again, this in MATLAB it is quite difficult. For the same kind of simulation in MATLAB it is quite difficult.